Hi, everybody. I'm Ronnie Shaver from Ronnie's Garage in Southern California. And this is our monthly technical seminar via Zoom. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this list. It's going to be on a 53R type. That's not a light, by the way. This is typically the horns will sit here. There should be one on each side. This is missing one. Some cars, the later cars, will have an actual vent for a heater core or a defrost core. They use them for different things. This thing has the horns down here, but it depends. They changed them over the years, and I don't know exactly when they broke all that. So let's move on to the rear wheels. So to check the rear shocks, that's a different size, of course. I make it the same. And that filler plug is right here. Okay. So I don't hurt myself first. And you see the years of buildup here. And the reason this is all on here is it probably was leaking. And when grease gets out here and dirt gets on it, it just keeps adding layers. There's a little bit of body rot on this car. That goes into the trunk. These body mounts like to rust off, fall off on these cars. Remember, they're old. Most of the R types and Mark 6s are right-hand drive. So that means they started life in the UK, which is a lot wetter. So I guess the big question is, do their tires last longer there than here? That one's not that low. Remember, this one is the dry one. The other one's all wet. So I'm sure the other one will take a lot of fluid. And then one thing I run into a lot of times when I service, especially the Cloud series and these early post wars, I will check the shop. Not everybody does that. And top them off as needed. And then the client will say, ever since you worked on my car, there's big puddles of fluid up by the wheels. That's because I filled it up. So, I mean, that's just what it is. So the last guy decided he didn't want to spend the money, which is fine. I understand that. So this rear hub is a little different. It's got, as you notice on the front one, the hubcap screwed directly onto the hub. See the threads on there. On the rear, they had to make an adapter because the rear axle doesn't have parts sticking out like the front. We got the 3 screws, they're slotted. These are quarter BS, not half BS, or not full BS, but quarter BS. It's only a little full of stuff. There we go. So that is what screws the hubcap to. That's the only job for that right there. And now we'll see if the drums fall. Oh, they fall right off. I love it. Once again, we look for wetness. No wetness, just dust. And then we will measure the thickness. Where did I put that? Honestly, right where I left it. Okay, look at the shoes. Now, on the back wheels, you should never see any wetness on these unless somebody has lubricated them. This is a mechanical expander. I'm a weak old guy now, so I'm going to go down here and see if I can make a move. See that? Purely mechanical. And that lever, this expander here, is operated by the brake linkages through the servo and also by the parking brake handle. And these are actually technically more emergency brakes because they use the whole brake shoe. They're not like that. So watch yourself. I'm going to blow a bunch of stuff out of here. All right. Now we'll measure both shoes. There's the center. Take a look. Millimeters. Where are they? Oh, we're just under 3, but over 2. Same for here. Let's see. Just under 3. Oh, right at 2. We're still good. Lots of miles left on these brakes. These are really hard shoes. See, that's a hard one because it really depends upon area. So if you live in a hilly area, you're going to go through brakes a lot faster. If you're a jackrabbit driver, you're going to go through brakes a lot faster. So it's hard to put a mileage on it. Minimum, I would say on these, even just normal all around driving, you probably got another 10, 15,000 miles on them at least. These shoes last a long time. The biggest problem with the brakes on these old cars is the hydraulics will seize up or leak. Servo. Just remember, if a wheel cylinder on the hydraulic system leaks, it's going to get on the brake shoes. And that takes a brake shoe, which should be dry, takes it to about 2% effectiveness. They don't stop very well either. Just things to think about. All right. So you note all, I note all these things on my service sheet. Hopefully I'll remember Monday when I do that service sheet. You want to line up, there's 3 screw holes here. You want to line them up when you put it back on, obviously.
Hey, given that my car has the original tires from England and it was and they're 50 years old, I have to assume that they don't meet the dot requirement.
No, I forgot something while I was sitting here. No, those tires, if you'd like to keep them, will be better off hanging on the wall, obviously. I think they started putting the dot on in the 80s, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think 50 years is probably too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Let's say you went bungee jumping. Would you trust a 50-year-old bungee cord?
Hey, Ronnie,
Yeah.
Ron, you can get, there's a company in the UK that manufactures the old vintage tires. And
Yeah.
it's able to have them shipped over here, and you can have them quickly. And it's Dunlops, it's everything. I think it's Vintage Tire,
Okay.
something like that. But they are a UK company, and they're reasonable.
That's the problem with, I've had tires shipped. I bought Avons from the UK. The shipping was almost as much as the tires because they're so big and heavy. That's the problem I run into with the UK because I have a Turbo R, and the only manufacturer that makes those tires that fit that car correctly are Avons. So, all right. So I just put the wheel back on. Vintage tire. Everybody take note of that, by the way. Left-hand threads on this.